thanks for just taking time out of your Friday to even hop on the call. Would love to learn more like about your background, like, where you're from, what you do, things like that. I know you're pretty young, so.
When I first started, I was 22 years old, and I was a personal trainer before COVID, and then COVID hit, and I wasn't making no more money because of my clientele, because of COVID, and I was living with my mom's, and I wasn't making no money, so I'm like, man, like I don't want to work another job. Like I like being self-employed. I like being entrepreneur-wise, my own schedule. And a lot of all my clients are really wealthy. Where they tell me, hey, learn how to do the stock market. And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm more physical. Like I'm more into moving, looking at how body works and everything. But when I got to learning the stock market, it's more in your head. And I'm like, man, like this is not for me. Like, and I got a cheap course at first, like $300, and you pay for what you get.
Yeah,
that's one thing for sure. Like you pay for what you get. This course right here, it's not cheap, but it's worth it. You pay for what you get. You have to have a strong foundation here. You have strong leaders here that are able to help you out, and that's why I like it. They have Zoom calls, and I'm like, man, like it's good that I'm able to actually speak to somebody instead of me just getting a course and not see nobody, or not hear nobody. Just do this, and this, and this, and that's it, and you'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I know there's more into it, but I just don't know what.
Yeah.
I had $3,000 in my checking account, so I was like, I'm gonna just wire it, Thinkorswim, and I bought an oil company when COVID hit. So then I was like, I'm gonna just leave it there. Like I'm not even gonna look at it for years. I'm gonna see where it takes me. So then I got the course, Stock Navigators, and so I remember the day, July 2nd. That's when I got the course, and when I got the course, maybe a week later I got COVID.
Oh man.
Yeah, I got COVID, and me and my wife got COVID, so we're isolated in our room for 1 whole month. So for 1 whole month, I kid you not, I was looking at the market. I may not know nothing. I was just looking at it and watching videos, and watching the videos, looking at the market, playing with Thinkorswim, trying to get better at it. So that was the first month, and then after that, like okay, like that was like in August. That's when like we tested ourselves. We were good, and then. So I told myself, like, okay, I have another month to keep on learning. And I wasn't working. I still didn't have no clients.
Yep.
Because some of the clients they didn't want to train because of the COVID, the vaccine, all that stuff. So then, so I didn't have no clients. I was still focusing. I was like, I told my wife, like, I don't want a job. Like, I want to focus in this. Like, we have bills, but not too much. We're like, we're gonna get back. Like, it's gonna backfire. So she was working, and I wasn't. And told her, baby, like, just trust me. Like, I think I'm able to get this if I just keep on going. Like, so then it was like September, middle of September. That's when I started paper trading for like a month, and then when I got good at my swing trades, that's when that's when I sold my oil company.
Yeah.
And I made like a $7,000 profit.
Yeah.
So in total at that point I had 10,000. So I'm like, okay, so this 10,000, I gotta look at it as $100,000.
Yep.
And I want to manage it as it's $100,000. And I'm gonna look. And one of my clients told me, "Hey, look at percentages, not numbers." So I'm like, okay, like, and I have this rule that worked really good for me. A 35% rule per day. By before end of October, my account's already at 25,000.
Wow.
So then I'm like, okay, like now I could do a little bit of futures. So I was still paper trading.
Yeah.
And still doing my account when I see a good amount of confirmations.
Yeah.
So then I was doing futures, and then when I was doing futures, I'll do a little bit like on my real account because I wasn't too confirmed with it, too positive with it yet.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm going somewhere here. Like I started from 10,000 to 33,000. I keep these numbers up. Like my account should be in a pretty good number. So by end of the year, I ended up making, I think it was like $57,000 or $58,000.
Wow.
So with $10,000, well $3,000 though, and I turned it to 58,000. So I'm like, okay. So now I was like, I know it's something good with options, but the thing about options is if people that want to get involved with options is that it's a high profit but a high risk.
High risk.
So
yep.
I'm gonna do options more for swing trading. So that's when my account grew bigger because the percentages were amazing on options. So then per month I I was from like 55 and it turned out to like 72 to 80. No, but so it's the end of the 72 by end of January. So then at end of January, that's when I started going emotionally or psychology, what you want to call it.
Yep.
Where I did 2 bad trades that messed me up mentally. Penny stock. I don't do penny stock.
Yep.
But people were talking about it, and I went. I was dumb. I remember this. I went aggressive. I put $40,000, and I was up maybe like $4,000 or $5,000 already that day. But I'm not. They're talking about it's gonna go up. It's gonna go up, and I wasn't even looking at it. I was still doing day trading. So I was like, I'm gonna wait till the end of the day. End of the day, I saw I was negative. My 40,000 already like $7,000. I'm like, man, it's like, you know what, like, what's going on here? So one of the things I started doing is, okay, I'm gonna be patient, and I'm not gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna go back where I started. I'm gonna look at the numbers. So then something else I did after that is like my account by end of January, March. By March, I was okay. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna do half. I'm gonna do $40,000 on long term, and I had like $25,000 to trade. I was like, and I'm gonna start with 25,000 because with my 40,000, I was telling myself if I want to do long term stocks in the future, I want to start doing it right now. So with the $40,000 I'm doing right now, I look at it if it's like $1 million account.
Yeah.
It may not be $1 million account, but it's 40,000. But I'm looking at the $1 million account. So when I get the $1 million, I already know how to manage it.
Yep.
So then now it's like I'm gonna go with 25,000. So the 25,000 by March I was okay, like go back where I was, 25,000. I'm gonna day trade stocks, futures, a little bit of options, not too much because it's a high risk. So and then I was being patient, and I started doing that, and then my account kept on getting bigger. I think by June, that's when I saw my account like at $50,000. I'm like, okay, like I'm getting this momentum back, like where I started.
Yep.
So then I didn't know I hit 100. Right now my account's at $122,000. Both of them, like in total.
Yeah.
Like from my $40,000 I had a long term.
Yeah.
And then to the account I have now in total. I didn't know because I didn't look at my long term. I just look at it. I have it 2 different accounts.
Yeah.
So I didn't look at how much I'm profit. I just look at my account, at my graphs. Oh, it's going up or it's going sideways. Like, oh, okay. As long as I'm negative or it's going really bad for me.
Yeah.
And then that's when I posted that. I was up 150. I was up 115,000. I forgot how much it was. I'm like, man, like I made $115,000 in within a year. Not even within a year.
Yeah.
With just $3,000.
Man, Michael, that's a crazy story.
No, yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
For anybody that's gonna watch in the future, like I only had $6,000 in savings account, and not even my checking account. My checking account was probably like 500 at that point. And the cost of this course, like man, it's like it's a lot, but like man, I know it's worth it. Like I know it's gonna be worth it because it's the reason why it's cost so much.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. It's worth it. You know, it's definitely worth it, guys. And yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Hey, I mean, you made back many, many times, of course, and obviously you're doing great and amazing. So I think, keep up the great work, Michael. Obviously, we love having you being a part of this community, and, thanks for helping out other members as well. But really, thanks for just taking time to share your story, because I think it's going to motivate a lot of people where it's like, oh, my account's too small. Like, can I actually grow it? And you're, proof that you can with the right methods, the right strategy, and the right risk management. So.
Yeah.